In a world overrun by the undead, some movies just rise above the rest. Join me as I count down the top 6 zombie flicks that you should sink your teeth into on this episode of Ranking Rumble. Welcome back to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer. The concept of the zombie, though rooted in folklore, has evolved significantly in pop culture, particularly through movies. While zombie movies definitely became very prominent as a result of Romero's Night of the Living Dead, you can trace them back all the way to 1931's Frankenstein. I mean, a zombie is just a reanimated corpse, right? The monster definitely fits that definition. But like I said, Night of the Living Dead established a huge part of what we consider to be modern zombie lore. It introduced the concept of the zombie as a mindless, undead creature that could only be stopped by destroying the brain.
By removing the head or destroying the brain.
The zombie subgenre has definitely expanded and diversified over the years. And by the way, somebody count how many times I say the word zombie during this episode, because it's going to be a lot. But you have the slow, almost bumbling zombies. You have fast-moving zombies and even more intelligent zombies. That's the thing that's so cool about them. You can really do whatever you want while still staying true to the concept and the lore. Originally, I was going to choose 5 movies to rank, but I could not narrow it down to 5, so we're going to be looking at 6 today. It's almost bell time, but go ahead and leave a comment telling me what your favorite zombie movie is and see if it stumbles its way onto my list. So grab your popcorn and make your way to your seat. Let's head down to the ring. Starting us off at number 6 is Dawn of the Dead. The second of George A. Romero's zombie flicks ups the ante on just about everything. Let's just start with the special effects. Tom Savini is a legend, and his work on this film is phenomenal. I mean, it's a huge part of why he's a legend. The effects are just so damn realistic and unsettling. A lot of people would even say disgusting, but that's the point. They're meant to evoke that visceral reaction from the audience, and I think they succeeded in that regard. There's also the social commentary in the film. It's a critique of consumerism and materialism, using the zombie apocalypse basically as a metaphor for societal decay. The film also features a lot of memorable sequences, such as the mall takeover and the helicopter scene. These moments have become ingrained in pop culture. Despite the chaotic setting, the characters are well developed and relatable. It provides that human element that is so important to any movie, but maybe even more so in a zombie movie. I mentioned the chaotic setting before, and that is the perfect way to describe this movie. Pure chaos, in the best way possible. Of course, there's also the 2004 remake directed by Zack Snyder, which is a really good movie in its own right. I just happen to prefer the original in this case. And that's mostly due to the raw, gritty feeling that the original offers. If you prefer the remake, I can completely understand why. Alright, let's keep the show moving. By the way, don't forget to body slam that subscribe button so you never miss any of the heart-pounding, chill-inducing 5-star matches we have here at WWH. We're not just wrestling with horror. We're delivering it to your screen every week. Next up at number 5, we have Wreck. Wreck is a Spanish horror film that utilizes the found footage style to tell the story of a news crew documenting the events inside a besieged apartment building. As the crew investigates a mysterious incident, they become trapped with the building's residents and soon realize that a horrifying outbreak is taking place. The film's immersive style and relentless pace create a terrifying atmosphere, as the characters fight for their survival against a growing horde of the infected. I love the utilization of found footage here. It creates a sense of immediacy and authenticity. You genuinely feel like you're experiencing the events along with the characters. The apartment building, it's a very confined setting. It's claustrophobic, especially when you're trapped. Just like the previous entrant, this film has some really good special effects. The practical effects, particularly the zombie makeup and transformations, are incredibly effective and pretty terrifying, honestly. This is another movie that has been remade. This time it was remade in America as Quarantine. Again, not a bad movie, but I prefer the original. It feels more authentic to me, and that's due in part to the characters, who are very relatable and well developed. All of the fear they feel and the desperation in their actions, it comes across as so genuine. Basically what I'm saying is that Wreck is everything I could want from a found footage zombie movie. And the zombies themselves are pretty terrifying too. I mean, just think about it. You live in this apartment building, you know all of these people, maybe even have friendships with them. And then you watch them turn into these zombies, and you know there's a good chance that you'll turn into one too. It's horrifying. Next up at number 4, we have 28 Days Later. Imagine waking up in a deserted London and finding out that everyone's gone crazy. That's basically the plot of 28 Days Later. A virus is turning people into zombies, and a small group of survivors have to fight their way through the chaos. It's a pretty intense movie with a lot of action and suspense. Unlike traditional zombie films, 28 Days Later presents a more realistic take on the undead, focusing on their speed, agility, and intense aggression. The film's setting, a desolate London, it creates a sense of isolation and despair. Seriously, I don't know how you can feel so isolated in a huge city like London, but they pulled it off, and it works perfectly for this film. The small group of survivors are well developed, each with their own unique personalities and fears. It makes them relatable, and there's definitely some social commentary here as well. The film touches on themes of government incompetence, societal breakdown, and the darker side of human nature. I really enjoy when a movie has something to say, and I think a zombie movie is the perfect medium for that. Like I said before, there are a lot of intense action sequences and scary moments. It's a great combination of action and horror. I also have to mention Cillian Murphy's performance. He does a phenomenal job, and I honestly can't wait to see him return in the upcoming 28 Years Later. Okay, so from this point forward, my choices are going to be based on nostalgia and how much fun I have with the movie for the most part. Coming in at number 3 is The Crazies. While I do enjoy Romero's original, I actually prefer the 2010 remake starring Timothy Olyphant. This zombie flick is about a small town that turns into a zombie breeding ground. People get infected, go crazy, and start attacking each other. The survivors then have to fight back and figure out what's causing all this chaos. And spoiler alert, it's the government. Unlike a lot of zombie films, the infected in The Crazies retain their intelligence and consciousness in a way that makes them more unpredictable and terrifying. The film invests time in developing its characters, giving them relatable motivations and fears. You care about their fates. The small town setting, coupled with the eerie and unsettling atmosphere, creates a suspenseful and unnerving feeling. The film also relies heavily on practical effects, which adds to the authenticity and the visceral nature of the violence. I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again 1,000 more. I love practical effects. I will take practical over CGI any day of the week. I wish more movies would make practical effects a priority, to be honest. The film does touch on themes of government paranoia, societal collapse, and the loss of humanity. You'll notice that a lot of zombie movies touch on the same themes, but what keeps them fresh is the way they deliver that commentary. They find new and exciting ways to say these things. You almost start looking for them as you watch, like a mystery movie. You're immediately looking for who's behind it all. You're kind of doing that with these themes in zombie movies. This movie has been nearly forgotten, honestly, but I love it so much. And that's probably because I'm a huge fan of Timothy Olyphant. I think he's great in everything he does. So yeah, it has a lot to do with nostalgia, but oh well, it's my list. Our number 2 entrant is going to be Night of the Living Dead, the film from 1968 that essentially catapulted zombies into superstardom. I mean, sure, they existed before, but they were jobbers. This film took them straight to that main event scene. It's about a bunch of people holed up in a house trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. It's a pretty simple premise, right? But it's so freaking effective. It's more than just a zombie movie. It's a character study on how humans react in these extreme situations. While the film's special effects may seem outdated by today's standards, they were groundbreaking at the time and helped establish the look of zombies in pop culture that we all think of. I also love the choice to make this film in black and white. Sure, it might have been due to budget constraints, but I think it plays better this way. There are also a lot of iconic moments in the movie, but this one may just be the most iconic.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
And the ending. Oh my God, this ending is absolutely heartbreaking. Ben has survived all of this zombies and then just gets gunned down by the humans. And they just discard him like he's nothing. It's a sad but so powerful way to end this story. Night of the Living Dead has had a profound impact on the horror genre and pop culture in general, inspiring countless sequels, remakes, and even parodies. Our final entrant in this ranking rumble is Shaun of the Dead. Okay, I get it, but I love this movie so much. It's so damn funny. It's about this dude named Shaun who's kind of lazy and just skates through life. When zombies start taking over, he has to step up and save the day, but in like a really chill British way. Shaun of the Dead offers a unique blend of dark comedy and horror. It's a refreshing take on the zombie subgenre. Zombies don't have to be all scary. It's okay for them to be funny too, and that's why I love this movie. The gore is there, the scares are there, but it's all done in jest. Despite the comedic elements, the movie also features plenty of action-packed scenes that keep you on edge. The script is witty and intelligent with plenty of clever dialogue and unexpected twists. The trio of Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost is pure gold. I love everything that they've done. The entire cast they're giving it their all. They make it more believable. And there's even a bit of emotion involved, particularly with Shaun's mom and stepdad. Those scenes hit hard in the midst of the comedy. Even the ending has stakes. You think it's going to be really sad because Shaun loses his best friend, Ed, but at the very end, we see Shaun is keeping Ed in his shed. He goes out there to play video games with him. It's a very light-hearted way to end the movie that reinforces that perfect blend of horror and comedy. And that is why Shaun of the Dead is my favorite zombie movie of all time. But there you have it. Those are my top 6 zombie movies ever. I want to hear from you now. Put your list down in the comments below and let's talk about it. If you're interested in Redcon One products, I have a discount code that you can use to save 20% off of your entire order. Check that out. You can also find all of my merchandise available at prowrestlingtees.com/AndrewDreamer. And I've been working on the WWH Patreon page and I've been updating it. So go check that out and consider joining us over there. All of the links are in the description below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of the action here at WWH. Now that we've talked about the best zombie movies in horror history, what are the best creature features? Luckily, you can find out by watching the video that's appearing on your screen now. And remember, in the squared circle of horror, there are no countouts for nightmares. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.